This is going to be a long and personal post. I'm Lila, and lately, I've been overwhelmed by fear and regret, especially when it comes to my love life and career choices. I feel like I might have ruined my chances at happiness, and I'm not sure how to cope with it. I'm in my late 30s now, and when I look back at my dating history, it's a series of missed opportunities and wrong turns. There was Daniel, the guy I met during my early career days in advertising. He was ready to settle down, but I was too focused on my job, always thinking there would be more time for love later. Now, I regret not giving our relationship a real chance. Then, there was my relationship with Ethan, the free-spirited musician I fell deeply for. I envisioned a life full of adventure with him, but my fear of instability held me back. I ended things, choosing a safer path. The regret of what could have been with Ethan haunts me. My career hasn't been much different. I started with dreams of making it big in the corporate world, but after several setbacks and rejections, I settled into a comfortable yet uninspiring job in a small company. I always thought I'd get back on track, but I never did. I never put much thought into having kids in my 20s and early 30s. I was too caught up in figuring out my life, navigating through a string of relationships, and trying to find some direction in my career. But now, as I'm approaching 40, I'm hit with this intense realization that I might have waited too long. My maternal instincts, which I hardly acknowledged before, are kicking in strongly. I see my friends with their children, and it fills me with a longing I can't ignore. I'm starting to wonder if my past decisions have cost me the chance to be a mother. The fear of it possibly being too late is overwhelming. The regret of not settling down when I had the chance is hitting me hard. I think about Daniel and Ethan, and I can't help but wonder if I let go of not just potential partners but also the opportunity to start a family. The fear of missing out is real and crushing. I see my friends and colleagues, all settled and content in their lives, while I'm here, filled with regret and what-ifs. I've tried to get back into the dating scene, but it's not easy. The fear of making another wrong choice paralyzes me. My body count, as some might crudely put it, has grown, but none of those encounters led to something meaningful. I can't shake the feeling that I've screwed up my chance at a fulfilling life. Now, trying to date with the intent of finding someone to start a family feels like a race against time. It's not just about finding love anymore. It's about finding someone who's ready to take that journey into parenthood almost immediately. And that's a lot to ask from a relationship, especially one that's just beginning. Growing up, I was always told there was a certain way to do things. Find love, settle down, start a family. It was like a timeline laid out for me, and I never questioned it. But as I navigated through life, things didn't go as planned. Relationships came and went. My career path was anything but straight, and here I am, facing the reality that I might not fit into that traditional mold after all. This fear of not living up to societal standards has been a constant shadow over my life. It's like I'm running out of time to check all these boxes that I'm supposed to have ticked off by now. The pressure is suffocating. The thought of motherhood is the most overwhelming part. I see the joy it brings to my friends, but I also see the struggles, the sacrifices. I always thought I'd have time to make that decision, but now it feels like the decision is being made for me by my ticking biological clock. I'm torn between this desire to conform to what everyone expects of me and the realization that my life has taken a different path. It's a path I never planned for, but it's mine. I'm trying to come to terms with the fact that it's okay not to have everything figured out, that it's okay to live life on my terms. After reflecting on my life, my failed relationships, and where I stand now, the possibility of never finding a lifelong partner or experiencing motherhood is staring me in the face. I always thought I had time, that things would eventually fall into place, but they haven't, and now I'm confronted with the possibility that they might never do. I see people around me, friends and family, in loving relationships, raising children, and while I'm happy for them, it also serves as a painful reminder of what I don't have. I always wanted to believe that there's someone for everyone, but what if that's not true for me? The loneliness hits me hardest in quiet moments, coming home to an empty house, attending events solo, even just filling out forms that ask for an emergency contact and realizing I don't have a significant other to put down. I've started to withdraw from social gatherings, partly because I'm tired of the questions about my love life, partly because it's just too hard to see couples and families and know I might not have that. I'm trying to come to terms with this potential future, to find a way to be okay with it. But it's daunting. I'm grappling with feelings of failure, of missing out on fundamental human experiences. As I've navigated the dating scene in my late 30s, I've encountered some disheartening trends. It seems like men my age are increasingly interested in dating younger women. I can't count the number of times I've been on dating apps and seen men in their late 30s or 40s explicitly seeking women in their 20s. It's as if women my age are invisible to them, or worse, deemed too old. Then there are the men who are still playing the field, not looking to settle down. I've gone on dates thinking there might be potential for something serious, only to find out that they're just looking for a casual fling. It's frustrating and disheartening. I respect everyone's right to choose what they want, but it's tough when our goals don't align. And let's talk about the hookup culture. It seems more prevalent than ever. I've had dates where it became clear that the guy was only interested in one thing. It's left me feeling like I'm not valued for who I am, but rather for what I can offer physically. I've tried to keep an open mind, to give people the benefit of the doubt, but these experiences have taken a toll on me. It's hard not to feel a bit jaded. I find myself wondering if there's something wrong with me, or if this is just the reality of dating at this stage of life. I'm grappling with feelings of being misled about prioritizing my career over personal life. I met Brian about a year ago. He was different from the other guys I'd dated. Kind, attentive, and seemingly on the same page as me regarding future plans. After months of dating, I felt like I could really see a future with him. But as time passed, and we got more serious, I noticed he was hesitant about committing to anything long-term. I decided to have a candid conversation about where we were headed. I didn't want to waste more time, so I gave him an ultimatum. Either we commit to a future together, or we go our separate ways. To my dismay, Brian chose to leave. He said he wasn't ready for the kind of commitment I was looking for. I was devastated. It felt like I had finally found someone worthwhile, only for it to fall apart when it became too real. This experience, coupled with my previous dating history, has left me feeling incredibly disheartened. It also made me question the advice I'd received over the years about focusing on my career first. I was always told that love would come naturally if I was successful and independent. But now, in my late 30s, I feel like I was misled. I've achieved career success, yet my personal life is a series of disappointments. I can't help but wonder if I made a mistake by prioritizing my career over my personal life. Seeing my friends and coworkers with their happy families has started to really get under my skin, and I've found myself acting out in ways that I know are wrong. Whenever I see my friends or colleagues with their husbands and kids, this wave of envy and anger washes over me. It's like a constant reminder of what I don't have. I know it's unhealthy, but I can't seem to help feeling this way. It's as if their happiness highlights my own failures in life. What's worse is how I've been coping with these feelings. I've started flirting with the husbands of some of my friends and coworkers. It's not that I want to start an affair or anything serious. It's more about the attention and the thrill. It makes me feel desirable and gives me a sense of control, even if it's fleeting and superficial. I know it's wrong and could lead to serious consequences. I would never want to be the cause of trouble in someone else's marriage. But in those moments, it's like I'm trying to prove to myself that I could have what they have if I really wanted it. I slept with my colleague's husband, and now they are getting a divorce. I feel like I'm spiraling out of control. I've been struggling with loneliness and jealousy for a while, as I've mentioned in my previous posts. But this time, I crossed a line that I never thought I would. It started with harmless flirting. At least, that's what I told myself. But one thing led to another, and I ended up having an affair with my colleague's husband. I knew it was wrong from the start, but I was so caught up in the attention and the thrill that I ignored my conscience. It was a brief affair, but the consequences have been devastating. My colleague found out, and now she's filing for divorce. She's heartbroken, and so are their kids. I'm drowning in guilt and shame. I've ruined a family, hurt my colleague who I respected, and now I have to face the judgment of my other coworkers. I never intended for things to go this far, and I don't know how to make things right. Following the fallout from my affair with my colleague's husband, I found myself spiraling even further. I felt powerless, guilty, and full of self-loathing. In an attempt to regain some sense of control and empowerment, I started frequenting bars, looking for younger guys to hook up with. There's something about the attention from these younger men that gives me a temporary high. It makes me feel desirable and in control, which is a stark contrast to how chaotic and unmanageable the rest of my life feels. I guess, in a twisted way, it's been my method of coping with the mess I've made of my life. But with each encounter, I feel more and more like I'm losing a part of myself. It's as if I'm trying to prove something, not just to myself but to the world, that I'm still attractive, that I can still have what others have. But the truth is, it leaves me feeling emptier than before. So, I'm here asking, am I the asshole for using these younger guys to boost my ego and feel empowered? Is it wrong to seek validation in this way, knowing that it's just a temporary fix for deeper issues? I'm aware that this isn't healthy, and deep down, I know it's not the solution to my problems. But I don't know how to break this cycle. I continued my pattern of going out and seeking attention from younger men. It was a reckless attempt to fill the void and feel something other than regret and loneliness. But now, this wake-up call has hit me hard. I got tested after experiencing some symptoms, and the results came back positive for an STI. I'm feeling a mix of emotions: fear, shame, and confusion. I never considered the serious consequences of my actions, and now I'm facing them head-on. This has been a painful reminder of how lost I've become, chasing after temporary fixes to deeper issues. The reality of not knowing who I contracted the STI from adds another layer of distress. It's a stark reflection of how disconnected and careless my interactions have become. I feel so far removed from the person I once was, and I don't know how to find my way back.